Welcome back to Titan Academy. In this video, we will cover how to map a project variable to a URL in Titan Forms 2.0. We will also cover how to encrypt Salesforce record IDs so that they may be passed in the URL securely. In my sample Titan project here, Titan Forms 2.0, we've set up two custom variables. Click on the gear, go to Tools, go to Custom Variables, select the static option. Only static variables can be passed in the URL. Here I've created two variables as an example, Contact ID and Encrypted ID. Let's look at the Contact ID first. In order to read a Titan variable from a URL, map to URL must be enabled. Click on the three little dots and select Map to URL. We've also set up a Salesforce GET to retrieve a contact record when the project loads. We've selected Contact, run on load, get the first record. In our filter conditions, I've set Contact ID equals the field Contact ID, that custom variable. So what will happen is we will pass this Contact ID variable a value, and then Titan will run a GET to retrieve contact records from Salesforce where the contact ID matches that variable value. We will then map them to fields on the Titan project page. Let's go ahead and save this and preview. You'll notice that when the preview project loads, nothing is pulled in to the fields on the form. That is because, by default, that custom variable is null. Let's give it a value. Here we will want to get a contact ID. So I'll go into my sample Salesforce environment, copy a contact ID from a sample contact record. Then in the URL, we can add that parameter. I will use an ampersand since there's already another parameter in this URL. FT no cache. If there were no parameters being passed already, we would start with a question mark. You can pass as many parameters as you want. We'll go with and contact ID equals, and then paste that record ID. Now, when we reload the page, notice how Titan runs the GET, finds the contact record that matches this ID, Jane Jones, and returns the values into the map fields. That is how you use a custom variable in Titan that's mapped to a URL. Now let's take a look at the encrypted ID. It's not good practice to pass Salesforce record IDs directly in the URL. That is for security reasons. The Titan managed package in Salesforce comes with a means of encrypting any field in Salesforce, including the record ID. This long encrypted contact ID that you see here is generated by Titan. I have set up a flow in the Salesforce environment. I called it Encrypt Contact ID. It is a record-triggered flow, runs on the contact object anytime a record is created or updated, and the custom field encrypted contact ID _C is null. The action that is immediately run is an Apex action, Form Builder FT encryption util that comes with the Titan managed package. We set our parameters, the field API name to encrypt is ID, the field to save the encrypted value, encrypted contact ID _C, the object API name is contact, and the record ID is record ID in curly braces with the bang and $. Anytime that flow runs, it generates this encrypted contact ID here. In order to use that in the Titan URL, again, make sure that this variable has its map to URL parameter enabled. Then, on the Salesforce GET, we want to change our filter conditions and search for records where the encrypted contact ID field that we created is equal to the encrypted ID parameter. We'll save this, and when we update our preview, we will see that data is no longer returned because the contact ID variable is no longer in use. What we will need to do is change this to encrypted ID equals, and then we use this long encrypted ID value. And now we see that the appropriate information is returned. And that is how it's done.